morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing. And welcome to the Anti-Social Hour-ish show. We're not quite an hour, sometimes we're over an hour. It all depends on what we feel like and how much coffee's left at the end of the morning. Today, I decided to bring you somebody who not only is a professional in the field that makes us all smile in comics and all, but he runs a con. And I don't mean like the Trump con, I mean like a real con, the kind we like. Today we've got Mitch Hallock, rhymes with haddock, sort of, not really padlock, not even. But Mr. Sir, how the hell are you?
I'm all right. I actually have two cons that I do,
Two?
so
Oh, do
that's
tell about the second one too.
twice the fun.
I know, not just
Okay.
Terrificon.
No. CT GamerCon,
Oh, that's so
which is
cool.
all about video games, anime, card games.
I got my gamer shirt
Yeah.
on today.
That's that. There you go. That's.
I'm a total
I was
diehard.
just
Check out.
putting up some graphics.
Oh, very cool. So are
There
you
you
like a
go.
one-man show for all this stuff? Or?
I am a one-man show. Yeah, that's why I was just putting all the graphics together for the other one. Yeah. I
That's
don't
so
trust anybody, so if I'm gonna screw it up, I want to be the guy that screws it up, you
you,
know.
the buck stops here. That's what my dad would say. So
Yeah.
here's a strange question. You're a little kid
Okay.
growing up, I'm
Yeah.
guessing in Connecticut?
New Haven, Connecticut. Yeah.
New Haven. Oh, that's the pretty were you a Yale family?
No, God, no. We were poor.
Oh,
We didn't go. Though I should take that back. My cousin did go to Yale, but he went on scholarships and such, and he works for the U.S. government for the last 40 years. So he
oh
did
wow.
good.
I
He
hope
did
he's getting a
good. He
paycheck. Good for him. My foster mom's buried in Yale in New Haven.
oh
Been up there. She didn't go there. Well, yes, she did. She went there for a PhD. So I'm lying. She did go there. Um, so growing up in New Haven, I am also a New England person, in case you haven't been able to
I
tell.
figured that out from the.
We're wicked passive, we are. So, so New Haven's a kind of a cool area. You and I seem to be from the same generation. What was it like for you growing up there?
Oh, in the 1970s? Oh, New
Yeah.
Haven was great. It was kind of like I always tell people it's like a mini version of New York City. Not as big, but all the different neighborhoods and the cultures and a mishmash of everything in the world. It's like a microcosm of the macrocosm.
That's
So
so
we
cool.
had
Was your
yeah,
neighborhood mixed up too? We had an Italian, Lebanese, Irish neighborhood.
yeah, no, I'm Italian, Polish, Ukrainian, and I went to school in a neighborhood where, I went to the Catholic school, but the synagogue was down the street for the Jewish school, and then there's a temple over there. So yeah, it was like the United Nations. It was a smattering of every
You know,
culture and race,
better
you know.
food that way too. The world is so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. We had everything you could imagine. And you grow up that way, and you just think everything's like that. So it's a cultural shock when I go outside the parameters of the New Haven area, and I'm like, where is everybody? What's going on?
The first time I saw Taco Bell, it was in I think it was Cranston, Rhode Island, and I thought this is Mexican food. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
we didn't have a Taco Bell in New
We
Haven
didn't
growing
either.
up. We had Viva Zapatas, which was like authentic Mexican food. So I'm like, this is.
That's the
Yeah,
real
it's too.
stuff.
It's like going to Olive Garden and them telling you it's Italian. You're like, wait a second. I
If
can
I
go
can't
home and
hear,
get this.
yeah, if you can't smell your nanny in the background, it's not real
Uh,
Italian. I mean, I always
well, she bathed once a week, so we were good.
thought. So everybody felt the same way. We did grow up the same way. So you're a little kid. Were you into comics as a little kid?
Oh God, yeah. My dad. I remember my dad distinctly going to the Liggett's drugstore to pick up a pack of smokes, and I was in the front seat because you could do that. You could leave your kids in a car
Ah, the
with
old
no
days.
safety belt, no belts, none of that, alone, and the
Uh-huh.
windows were rolled down, all that jazz. And he was in
Because it
there.
takes a long time to roll down the windows in the
Yeah,
70s.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm watching him through the light from the what do you call it, the drugstore.
Uh,
And he did park in front though, so in case somebody did try to steal me, he could at least watch as they drove away. So he's getting his smokes, the cigarettes, and he's looking at the spinner rack, which was right by the counter. I can see it
Oh,
like it was yesterday. And I remember him spinning it, and he pulled two books out, and he comes out and he gives them to me. And it was a Batman book and a Shadow comic. And yeah, and he had tons of comics growing up. And of course, the same story. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she threw his books out when he was off to the Marine Corps. And he come home and he's like, "Hey, where's all my comics?" And oh, those things, they threw them away. They were in the attic. And but he had all the 40s books. He had all the first Superman and the
the
detective
original
comics, but the
DCs.
original DCs and
Oh,
Green Lantern and Flash and Captain Marvel. That was his big thing. Him and my mom loved Captain Marvel. But all that went out the window. So what he
oh,
gave me these books, he said, "Whatever you do, don't let anybody ever throw them out." And
right?
that's what caused the OCD that makes me surrounded by more disposable income that I wish to think about, you know?
But my husband recently had to go back home to Detroit to visit his father who fell 96 years old. You know what that means. So
Yeah.
he goes out to visit him. First thing he does, doesn't check on his dad, runs
Just,
down to the basement, make sure the comics are okay.
yeah.
And he
Yeah.
brought home a ton. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The same thing. It was like, this is my retirement plan. I need these.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't plan on living more than a week and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Retirement plan.
So who is your favorite?
Character, artist, writer, what?
Let's go with character when you're a kid.
Oh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man was cool.
You
Yeah.
wanted to
Everybody,
be Spider-Man?
what's that?
Did you want to be Spider-Man?
I wanted to be Spider-Man, but the fact of the matter is I was a chubby little kid as opposed to a chubby big adult. And I remember they were selling these web slingers in the back of comics. Well, it was really a dart gun with a piece of kite string on it, and you put it on your wrist and you press the button and it shot a dart out. And I was just envisioning myself swinging through the streets of New Haven from the three or four big buildings we had down there. And I realized that kite string was not going to hold my portly little body, and I would have crashed and died on the streets of New Haven, you know.
We
So
used to dip GI Joes with Kung Fu grip
yeah.
into red paint. You know, the tempera paint you get when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Slide them down the phone lines down the street
Oh,
from house to house.
we did all stuff like that. I remember getting my Mego Superman, putting him on a string, and just whipping him around as he flew around like George Reeves did on the TV show. You know, yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, Reeves.
it was fun. I mean, of course, I had no idea that stuff was going to be valuable when I was destroying it. I would have saved it, but no, I had fun. I miss all that stuff. So now I try to, now that I have money, I go to buy it all back, but it's not going to bring back my 6-year-old mentality.
See, now
I
you're like me. I unbox everything, and
I do.
my husband gets so sad at me. And I'm like, look, these were not made to be looked at in a museum. They were made to be touched, felt, and used. I turn into robot chicken immediately.
I have action figures all below me right now at this desk. I'm sitting here. They when I'm bored on podcasts. Not that I'm bored on this one. I like sit there and play my Supermans and
You've got a
stuff.
white-haired Superman to look like you?
No, it's not white hair. It's this bulbous bald head, and it's kind of phallic-y,
Oh,
whichever
cool.
the deal is.
That is
But I
cool.
saw it and I was like, okay, I'll buy that.
See, I
But
got a big collection of Batgirl. I was all into Batgirl. I wanted to be
Batgirl.
Batgirl and Catwoman. I just couldn't decide which Catwoman. You know, if when you watch them on
Well,
TV, you had all these
I
different.
always liked how they never made, note of they were different people. It
Yeah,
was just like Catwoman. And like, okay. So even then, as young kids growing up watching this stuff in the 60s, they knew you could recast a main character and no one cared. They just went about it like, okay, that's
because
Catwoman.
Eartha Kitt looks exactly like
Eartha
Julie
Kitt looks
Newmar.
just like Lee Merriweather, who
Yeah,
looks just like Julie Newmar. It's Catwoman. It's the character. The John Aston Riddler is the same as Frank Gorshin Riddler. We don't know. Cesar
I
Romero's
forgot
got a
John Astin.
mustache underneath his makeup. We
That's
don't look
right.
at it.
I
That's
used to
kind of
love
crazy.
it.
Yeah. But that's the funny thing, though. I look back and everybody's a big to do about, oh, there's a new Spider-Man, there's a new Batman, there's a new Superman, there's a new, whoever they pick. We've been
And that's what my answer was always and.
we've been doing this since we were kids, you know?
Exactly. They didn't mess with Superman back when, my dad was a kid. They had that
No,
guy
no,
forever.
no, no.
Then we lost him. So,
Yeah.
um, So you had this love. Your dad was really smart by passing that along to you. That is so cool.
Yeah, he was. And then I could draw too. I had the God-given talent to draw. So I would sit there and the comics were just like references for me. So I would sit there and draw my own comic strip and in school there was another kid that collected comics like I did. And there was a bunch of kids that read comics, but he would draw his, which were just stick figures. They weren't very good. And I was more like, I want to be John Romita. So I'm over there
Nice.
doing shadows and details and stuff. And I got to give you this. Back in the day, his stories,
Uh,
we're talking 7, 8, 9-year-old kids. His stories were so fun and imaginative, but the artwork suffered. And then mine, the artwork looked good, but they weren't as great as he were. So it was kind of like a Stanley Jack Kirby thing going on there. You know what I mean? It's like
that's so cool.
you
Did
took
you guys do the
his.
manila paper and folded them up and hand them
No,
out
we
to
would
friends?
have those composition books, the black and white
I
composition books.
got 20 right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had them in Catholic school, and we had to do your cursive and your penmanship. So we would just draw them and just pass the books back and forth. And before at the end of the year, you'd have a whole 200-page volume comic book.
Your own diary of comics.
And
That's
it's sad thing because we swapped them at the end. I remember, I think we graduated eighth grade. We went to
uh,
one through eighth. We didn't do middle school,
uh,
and I gave him my binder that had all my comic strips, and he gave me his binder that had all his comic strips. Even the name of his character was lame. It was just called Mr. Smith. That was it. And
works
he
for
had a
Doctor
cat.
Who, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just a stick figure.
Oh.
And he had a cat named Bozzy, the lopsided cat, because he would. And when he would draw, he would always draw on an angle, so all the animals looked like this. So they would just call him the lopsided cat. And it's like, I guess. And then mine was Crusher, which was the wrestler that, if you read your Spider-Man comics in issue one, was it issue one or is it? No, no, it's not issue one. It's Amazing Fantasy 15. When he goes to do the wrestling, when he gets the spider powers and he beats the guy in the wrestling ring to get the money,
Uh-huh.
and he
Uh-huh.
lets the crook run
I'm like
by
looking over
him.
there going, do I have that one? Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I did the story of that guy. What?
Nice.
Forget Spider-Man, forget the Green Goblin. Whatever happened to that wrestler guy? So I would just do stories where he became a hero too. He didn't have superpowers, but I did
That's
Crusher comics and back and forth.
Now, when you were in high school, did you think maybe I could do this for a living?
Yeah, no, I did. I went to art classes and I was artist of the year. And then when graduation time came, I wanted to go to the Kubert School in Dover, New Jersey. But my dad, who got me started in comics, but he was more of a serious fella, he was like, no, 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 I'm not paying for art school. You have to go and get an education and, develop your brain and learn a skill because what if you ever hurt your hand or something like that? You'll be out of work. So you better develop that.
So
So
where did you end up going?
I couldn't go, but I went to a peer art college for like a week, which was a school, and I hated it.
Oh,
But I went to then a local college, and then I got a degree, bachelor of science degree in design and art history. But
excellent.
I also learned marketing and all that other jazz. So I made my dad happy by learning the business stuff, but I also kept the talent. And then I do all the theater stuff, plays. Even
Uh-huh.
though I wasn't a theater major, you just got credit if you volunteered to
Sure.
go on stage and do stuff, and I didn't care. And I just wanted to get out of college. I couldn't stand being in school.
Yeah.
So if I volunteered and they gave me a point 0.5, I'm going to tell the truth now. I might not even have a real degree. I- They would write it back in the day before computers, back in the Stone Age. They
Yeah.
would write on a piece of paper, extra credit, and you would bring that to the records office. I can't think what there was a
Oh,
certain
the
name.
registrars and yeah, all that
Registrar. Yeah,
stuff.
you would
Yeah.
bring it to the registrar's office. And the guy would write, the dean of theater, his name was Sig Jensen. He's dead, so I could say his name. He would write point 0.5 credit for helping out in the play or starring in a play.
Cool.
So it wasn't that hard just to take a pen and write the number 1.5 instead of point 0.5. So
Bank
I,
it.
I did about, I don't know, 6 or 7 plays. So I must have got about, I don't know, 9 or 10 credits extra that I never should have gotten. And
That's a whole semester. That's pretty good.
it is because, things were expensive. I was paying for my own college. So I got out with my degree, but technically now, if you think about it, I cheated and I didn't get the full degree,
Don't
so.
feel bad because I graduated with a degree in independent study. So
Ooh,
I graduated all my school, high school and college in 3 years. I always graduated early. Took all the summer classes I could because they were this long.
yeah.
It just went, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
I
Let
just
me
want,
do.
I just wanted to get out of there. I couldn't stand it. I mean, everybody was in their own little world. And I remember just before graduation, I would walk around. People hated me. I'd go up to them and go, "Hey, guess who I am?" Psh, and I'd slap them. And I go, "I'm reality." They hated that. I'm like,
So
this
you
is.
could have gone into stand-up comedy.
I could have. I always wanted to. My friend had a band back in the day called Images,
Uh,
and I used to when they would do sets in between sets, I would go up on stage and just grab the microphone and just I would do bits that I had no memory of, and I wasn't on drugs or drinking. I would just go into like a state or something.
you're in your zone.
I was in a zone. Yeah, exactly. And I would just do accents and stuff. And I remember people would come up to me and they were cracking up and going, "Oh, when you do that leprechaun rock star impression, that was the funniest thing." I go, "I did what now?" And it's really scary because I have like no memory of a lot of the stuff. And they would just tell me and they go, "You were doing like 10 minutes like Robin Williams or something on stage, just like, stream of thought craziness."
So you could have been the most famous comic book designer. You could have been the most famous stand-up comic. You
Yeah, I could
probably
have.
could have been like all these other
I'm,
things.
I'm could
What?
have been man. That's my
Yeah,
name. Could have been
could
man.
have been man.
I could have been a contender. Wow.
CBM. Captain CBM.
Yeah.
What does CBM stand
He's
for?
better than Captain BM. That's not
Yeah, that would be very messy. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
He could be a pissy number one, a solid number two, or Captain
Exactly.
BM. Yeah.
Or if you get crazy, a three, all of them at
Yeah,
once.
yeah, just run it to the ground. We have very similar backgrounds in that. I
Uh,
was one of those artsy people who went to mass art and then
oh,
yes,
Massa. I know. Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
escaped to Cal Arts to get my
Oh,
grad.
really? You just
Yeah.
like go to shortened state schools? Is that what
I
it is?
got discovered. Cal Art,
Rizzy.
Cal Arts, one of the big famous filmmakers, went to Mass Art to visit the computer arts program, and I was the
Yeah.
only one doing animation with computers back 100 years
See?
ago. And he just went to me, you need to go to our school. And I didn't know it was like dollars a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got
To
to give
draw
away.
pictures, it was like, what? To draw pictures? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, $60,000 to go to art school a year.
What?
Yeah. And
Oh,
you don't get
yeah.
to sleep with people to pay for it back
You
then.
could have gone to Yale, for God's sakes, got a
Right?
real
It was the
degree.
same. Well, they're the same financial planner, I swear. They're out there going, hey, let's get this guy from Roslindale, Mass, who can afford maybe government cheese. Yeah.
Oh, government cheese is the best. Let me tell
Isn't
you.
it?
I don't know. Whatever they put in that stuff, man, that addictive quality to it, it was, we would get that block of cheese. I think it's like a
Thank
five
you.
pound block of orange cheese, and we
Yes.
cut it up and you put it on a piece of bread.
It would melt if you wanted it to melt. If
It,
you
it
wanted
could,
to
you
cut
could
it up and put
caulk
it on your pizza
You
that you would
could
make out
caulk
of a piece of
crack
bread.
walls. It would, plaster. If you had Bondo for your car, you needed a dent rubbed out.
You
You
got a
put
filling that fell
government
out right in there.
government cheese, man. I don't know what Tony Stark invented it. Reed Richards, whatever unstable molecules was in that stuff. That was the
It
pissing.
the
Yeah.
cure for what ails you. It had everything. And I would explain this to people, and they'd like, I don't
They
remember
don't
that.
know because they didn't grow up poor. I
Yeah,
tell
you
people
you don't
stories.
remember food stamps? What? What?
Oh, food stamps. They
I
didn't taste
still
good.
have one.
You know what were good? The green stamps were good. Remember
Oh,
the
the
green
S&H.
stamps? S&H green stamps. You'd save them and you'd get a toaster or a
Yeah,
radio.
yeah.
Yeah,
My mom got a frying pan.
yeah, I remember we got a cool transistor radio. We went
Yeah,
down to the reclaim store, whatever you call it, the
yeah.
stamp
They had the
store.
catalog,
You
S&H
bring it
catalog.
in. You had the booklets.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
They should bring that back.
that and the Avon lady. That's the two things
Ooh,
I remember when I was little. Avon lady knocking
my
your door.
My mom was friends with the Avon lady. Charlotte was up the road, and they'd have these cool soaps and stuff. You'd get like the Aristocats, Disney stuff, and
They had the
Snoopy.
yeah, they had the
And
soap that the like crazy foam you'd use in the bathtub.
Crazy. I don't know if they had. We had Crazy Foam. I don't know if that was from Avon, but yeah,
No, it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
from Avon, but they had an Avon
I had
version of it.
Crazy Foam, and all the things looked very odd, like almost like sex dolls, but they were in a can because they all
Mhm.
had that look like. That's going to be haunting me forever on Photoshop. But
What kind of
yeah,
flashlight is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Crazy foam was something else back then. It was really weird.
We had the best toy. We had silly string. We had
Oh
super.
yeah, silly string.
That's how you play Spider-Man.
Super elastic bubble
Bubble
plastic
plastic.
was my
That was the
favorite. It
stuff.
was this cancer-causing chemical that
Still
was like
smell
in
it
a
in my head.
tube. Yeah, and you'd put it on a thing and it looked like a crack pipe, and you'd sit there and you'd blow your lungs out, and
Yeah,
you'd this plastic. Why you couldn't just get a goddamn ball that was down the street? I don't know.
right.
But
And
you
it
had
was
to make
always
your
different
own.
colors when it
It
would
was
blow
all
up.
trippy LSD colors and stuff, made by some kind of crackhead or something. I mean, it was
And that
nuts.
smell was so
Oh, the
amazing.
smell. The polyurethane would eat your brain cells as you sat there and played with it. Yeah.
Go down to the penny store, a penny candy store, get the dots on the paper.
Oh yeah. Get or the squirrel nut zippers that would rick your teeth. They were just like
Yeah, so much better a band than a candy.
Charleston Chew. My
I
God.
was in a Charleston Chew commercial. Charleston, Charleston, Charleston Chew. Yep, I still remember the song. So,
Are you serious? You were in a
yeah,
Charleston Chew? Really?
yeah.
Remember Choo Choo Charlie?
Was an engineer. Good and
Yeah, and I'm
plenty,
here
good
to
and
say I'm
plenty.
Choo Choo Charlie. I'm here to say good and
Yeah,
plenty, good and plenty, good and
good and
plenty.
plenty, good and plenty.
Do they
Ah,
make that
flashback.
anymore? Do they make
I
that?
don't know. You know what? There's a website called Home Store,
Oh, yeah, the old
yeah, Home
candies.
Goods Store, whatever. You can
Yeah.
find it on that stuff. But
But was
penny
Good and
candy
Plenty
stores.
really good?
Which one?
Good and
Good
Plenty.
and
Was it good?
plenty.
Because they were
It
they
was
were black,
licorice.
white, and yeah, purple too, right?
It was pink and white
Pink
with
and white.
black licorice in it.
Yeah, sometimes you go, ugh. Like those
Yeah.
wax lips, those were nasty.
But unless you got the ones with the Kool-Aid in them, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah. That you
really
were doing.
nasty.
Well, you were you supposed to chew those? I never understood what you were supposed to do. You were
Was it
supposed
like
to do
a
like gum.
gum? Was it a yeah, we were supposed to we used to do the thing where all the oldest kids in the family, hello,
Yeah.
would take the gum and put it like on the back of your sister's neck while she was
Oh yeah.
sleeping,
No,
make
no.
or put it over their face so they'd make like a mask out of it. We
I
used to try
remember
to save them.
Razzles. I remember
Which one?
Razzles. They were
Is
candy
it a
and
gum or a candy?
we don't know.
We don't know.
See, they were playing with our minds as kids. We didn't, and that's where I grew up not trusting people. It's not my fault for this
That's right.
paranoia I have. It's the candy. You didn't know what you were eating.
At all.
Is it candy or is it gum? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't
And
know.
and then we had a liquid called Zarex.
What was that?
Zarex is zippy, Zarex is zappy. Zarex will make your whole mouth happy. And it was basically thick, viscous Kool-Aid that you would have to add water.
No, I don't remember that.
Maybe it
No,
was just a New England,
maybe it was
New
up
England.
in
Maybe it
your
was
area.
just a
Well, that you,
Massachusetts thing.
that's another thing too. You don't realize there's some things that are regional to you till you go out there. You think, what do you mean? Not everybody has Fox and Park Soda, which is like a New Haven company that
Birch beer. I was all about the
yeah,
birch
white
beer.
birch beer. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But no
So
one
good.
knows what the hell that is. I tell people they're like, "What? What
Nobody
is?"
knows what bottle shops are either. You
And
go
what's the
down.
one up in Worcester? The polar bear. What's he?
Oh, the is that the not the
Polar? Is it polar
Slurpee
soda?
yeah, the Springs, there was the
Not Poland Springs. That
not
was
yeah, but the white bear with the I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
glued
yeah.
back
He
there.
was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
roof as you got on the highway. You'd see it
Yeah.
off to the side.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
cousins in Marlboro, so we used to see that often.
Oh,
So
all right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We had a lot of weird things. Do you remember up the Peter Paul Candy Factory?
Remember the smell of the Peter Paul candy factory.
They made Almond Joy and Mounds and
You
I
could have
think
half and still have a hole. Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then when the Willy Wonka movie came out in 1971, they made things called Oompa Loompas, which were basically Reese's Pieces before they were called Reese's
That's
Pieces.
it.
And then they had another thing that was called No Jelly, which was just a peanut butter candy bar with chocolate on top with no jelly. So the thing was called No Jelly.
That's
So, I
funny.
don't
I
know.
used to like that there was a Mallow cup. I used to love Mallow cup.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember the Sky Bar? They still have that where you got
I
like
love Sky Bus.
five different candies in one. It's like
The
caramel.
caramel, we trade. Like my friend liked the peanut one. I like the caramel. We trade.
Yeah, see. See, they were trying to teach us a lesson. They were trying to teach us to work together through candy.
That's
You
right.
get diabetes and you also learn how to be friends with people.
And this is why we were not skinny children.
No, this is why we're not. This is why we
Drake's
stay
cakes.
inside.
Drake's
Drake, I
cakes
just drew a
got me
picture
through high
yesterday.
school.
I drew a picture of all the hostess people. A guy asked me later. I've been drawing pictures because in between conventions when there's nothing to do around the house because I'm lazy, I draw. And somebody sent me an email. They said, "Could you draw Twinkie the Kid?" And I'm like, not only am I going to draw Twinkie the Kid, I'm going to draw the whole lot of them. So I
Got the
drew
cupcake.
fruitcake, the fruit pie, the
Fruit pie.
magician, Chauncey the crocodile.
Wow.
Uh, what was the other? Oh, the Captain Cupcake.
Captain
Uh,
Cupcake.
King Ding Dong,
Ah.
who went on to like a
See,
successful
they
port.
called them ring dings in our neighborhood. They didn't
They
have
had
ding
ring
dongs.
dings. They had
Yeah.
yodels. There
Yep.
was a
Oh,
Susie Q. I did not draw Chief Big Wheel because it's a very racist thing nowadays. So I did
yes,
not.
that's right. Oh, it's so
He
funny. I
he
used to
got
love Big
canceled.
Wheel.
He got canceled. He's done.
Oh,
You don't do that anymore. Shame
oh.
on you, hostess, for mocking people.
Devil dogs were my favorite.
Devil dogs were good. That was Drake's cakes.
Yes, that I did like the Drake duck.
Yeah,
The
but you remember those were so dry that you had to have milk with them because you
you
choked to
had
death.
that's
You'd
true.
you'd have
That's
the Yankee Doodle, which
Yankee
was the
Doodles and
cupcake, and it would stick to the roof of your mouth, and you'd go,
when I tell people those were my favorite treats growing up, I either get one of two reactions, like, "What did you drink with it?" or two, "What the hell are you talking about?"
no, no, no. And the other weird one is that I don't know a lot of people know about this. Remember Dolly Madison's? They had the
Yes.
Peanuts people on it. You had Charlie Brown, and they had Zingers,
Yeah.
which were like Twinkies with like raspberry
With a
filling.
big frosting on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know what the hell was up with that company because it was always like shady. Not to say anything against the people that
They
find.
might have been laundering money. They might not have been. We don't know.
Oh, please. There was a lot of that going on. We didn't know. We would
We
just,
we
go
were
to
innocent.
carnivals with people with this many fingers running the rides, and you didn't know it was all a front for like a mob thing.
These were good days.
They
Those
were
were
good. Oh, they're good days. Let's bring that back. Let's bring back the red
great.
dye number fives and all the cancer
Yeah.
causing chemicals. Yeah. And the
Real
super
butter and stuff and real cream.
real but no, there was promise.
That's right. And
There was
Imperial, yes.
margarine. Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
came in those tubs that your grandmother would save the tubs when you were done, and they'd put screws and pennies and
We still
and,
do that
and
because,
they're all over the house. I remember our
yes,
grandfather had all these coffee cans in his garage, chock full of nuts coffee,
yes, I was gonna
and
say, oh, what's the one? Hills
A
Brothers.
and P,
Yeah,
A and
yeah,
P.
yeah.
Yeah, but they were all full of screws. They were
Yep.
very functional. I was
That
like,
is
you know
what they
what?
were
The man was
for.
ahead of his time.
You
He
wouldn't
didn't
recycle, you would reuse.
exactly. And then pennies, Maron. He had so many pennies. My God, they were all over the thing. It's like, okay, he's saving the pennies.
You're gonna need them someday.
Someday
You're
you'll
gonna
melt them down and make a suit out of them like Iron Man. Okay.
ah,
Zinc. I could. That's the armor could have be man. It's
that's
made out
it.
of
That's it.
zinc.
Did you
No,
and he'd have to drive a Galaxy 500.
no. We had a white station wagon. I'm pretty sure it was like a Ford,
Was it
and we
one
would.
with the paneling on the side?
No, we weren't rich. We just
No.
had a white one. We would jump back and forth. I remember jumping back and forth, reaching the front seat and come in the front seat, and you would climb over.
Yep.
It was just like you'd climb over everything. And my
You
mom
don't
would get
get to sit in the front. You have to sit in the back.
exactly
Ah,
because
we
you got
take
in
out.
front, you got to change the radio station.
You gotta play
All, the,
Knip in the back of the car.
all that glorious AM beauty back in the day. And of course, I don't know what year
WRKO, Boston, Mass.
I don't know what year you were born, but do you remember the bicentennial?
64. Do you remember
Oh, I
which
was
one?
born in '66, so you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
the bicentennial.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Elton
America's
John.
birthday. It
Yeah.
was, oh my God, everything was red, white, and blue for like 2 years, like
Yeah.
1976 and Jimmy
And
Carter.
we were in Revolutionary War land, so it was
Oh
all
yeah,
over the
you
place.
guys were like the Disney World of freaking the bicentennial.
We
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
get musket balls in our backyard. We used
Did
to
you
dig.
really?
Yeah, we had tons. We were right near where one of the battles was. So,
Like Bunker Hill or Concord or
no, not one of the
Lexington?
big ones. It was
Not
Belmont
one of the
Hill.
big ones. One of the ones they don't tell you about. The
Yeah,
Battle of Shrewsbury.
the Battle of Belmont Hill at the Dedham and Rosendale
Really?
line. Yeah.
So just like we talked about local stuff that no one knows about, anybody watching this has no
No,
idea what we're
no
talking
clue.
about. No.
But we're big in Guam, so
We are big in Guam. We're huge in Agawam too.
yeah. Oh, what was the name of that
Riverside
amusement park?
Park. Riverside
Yes.
Park. Yeah.
Oh, and King's Castle Land.
I didn't go that one.
You were probably too young.
Riverside.
My
I
sister is
probably.
the same age as you are, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, man.
Ah, the good old days.
Was there a point to any of this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So,
'Cause I could do this all day. Like when my grandmother, I used to sit at her house after school, and she would go on about all the, the 40s and the 50s, and you didn't know what the hell was going on. I'd be doing my homework and going, yeah, okay, Graham.
Yeah.
Now,
That
now
was
we do it
like,
on a podcast.
I'm that person. I'm that person. I'm the person that goes, I don't know who that is on the music now.
Oh, I do that. When we watch those award shows and the red carpet, I scream, "Who's that? Who
Well,
is that? What's going?
it's
What is that?"
Chapel RXKL something.
But you know what the hard thing is in my job is
You have to know these
I
people.
have to be hip.
You have to know these people. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
because
let's go back. So you graduated school. See, we
yeah,
should bring it back around. You graduated school. Well, we flash back into
maybe I graduated. We don't know, but
we don't know. You possibly
I
graduated.
I possibly did with a degree.
Your degree's in what the hell, which is WTH degree is a perfectly good degree, better
Yeah,
than an MRS.
yeah.
So you got this degree, and the first job you get is what?
The first real job.
Yeah,
Because I had stupid jobs. I had stupid
everybody.
jobs like
I was Porky Pig.
I was an usher at Milford High. I was a Nautilus instructor when I was young and in shape.
Wait. You were at High.
Yeah,
Oh,
Milford High.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
There was Bridgeport High, Hartford High, Newport High, and Milford High. And I worked for 2 seasons at the Fronton.
Ooh, dear.
Yeah,
Yeah, we used to just be amazed if that even made it into New England at all. For
I
those who
know.
don't know, a highlight is kind of like lacrosse for people who like solid things.
No, it's like handball.
Yeah, handball for people who like sticks.
If you ever watch reruns of Miami Vice, that was always at the opening because it was a big sport down in Miami,
For about 2 hours. Yeah, it's
about
amazing.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like pickleball's going to be in 20 years.
Yeah, it was the pickleball of Basque. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
But no, I did highlight, but I did all the stupid jobs too. I worked in an art supply store where I would steal all my art supplies. I could say that now because they're all out of business as well.
I think the with the
Statute of limitations
statute of
on stolen
limitations is done. Yeah,
Prismacolor markers is long gone.
you're
Sealing
done.
the X-Acto knives was tricky, putting those down your pants, but Prismacolor's no problem. But
Instant press.
no. So my first job was an assistant to the art director at a small studio, ad agency, catalog company.
Nice.
Catalogs when they used to send catalogs in the mail when that was
Oh,
a thing
service merchandise. I worked for them.
before the internet. So
Yeah.
what happened is I hated the job and I had my resignation letter. I was there for like 10 months and I was doing all the work because the guy would take off all day. He would go, here, you're running the studio. If anybody calls, tell them I'm in a meeting and, do the photography, do the drawings, do the copy, the
I'm
mechanic,
gonna be
do
off
everything.
with my girlfriend. Yeah.
I don't
Go
know
tell
where
my
he was.
wife.
So he would take off and I was running the thing. And then he got in a fight with the owner who was like right down the hallway. And he says, I'm going to start my own company in January. And this is in July.
Hmm.
And the owner goes, I'm going to give you a head start. You could leave now. And
Whoa.
he got fired on the spot. So for the next 2 weeks, I took that letter of resignation, I put it back in my drawer, and I'm waiting for them to hire a new guy. I'm like, well, I'm just a kid. I'm like 23 years old. And they never hired a new guy. And then I finally got the gall to go into the owner's office and said, hey, look, I don't know if you know me, but I'm the guy down the hallway in the art department where there's only one person now
Doing all the work.
doing all the work. And I'm like, are you hiring somebody? He goes, listen, well, how much do I pay you a year, kid? And I'm like, $17,000 a year,
Oh, the old days again. Ugh.
1989. Yeah. And he goes, I'll make a deal with you, kid. I'll give you $25,000. He talked like James Cagney. And he
Hey.
goes, and if you do a good job, you'll get 30,000. So I'm like 23 years old making $25,000. And that's like, and when you grow up poor,
Yeah.
that's like gold.
Oh yeah.
So
I
I
remember the
was
first time I saw double digits in my numbers.
yeah. I called the professor at school and told him. And he goes, "What bar are you at?" I'm like, "What bar?" He goes, "No one's gonna try." But the thing of it is, when you're a young kid, I was doing all the print quotes for $1 million jobs. I was doing all the photography. I was literally making the book. I would do the copy. I would do these 30-page books. And the guy said, "Do whatever you want." Really? Can I make them look like
That's
a
how Building
comic book?
19 started. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, can you make it look like can I do a comic book? Can I make this look like Raiders Lost Ark? Can I make this look like Star Wars? Whatever you want, as long as we sell stuff. So I went to work and first thing I did, I drew a comic book office supply catalog with boring crap in there like laminators and staplers and overhead projectors and binding machines, but I made it look like an EC horror comic. And
So that made it interesting.
I had no idea how to do it. So there was no internet and there's no Google, so I don't know how to make a comic. So
There was a thing called the Yellow Pages, which I
I
still
took the yellow pages
yeah.
out and
Yeah.
I called Marvel Comics in New York and I said, "Can I speak to somebody in the art department?" And they said, "Sure." And they got on the phone and who was it but John Romita Sr., the guy I idolized growing up, and he's on the phone. I'm like, "Oh my God."
I would have had a heart attack.
And I said, "Sir, let me calm down." And then I told him my situation. I said, "I don't know how to do this. I told the guy I could, and now he's expecting me to do it. And
Gulp.
if I do it, I get to keep the job. If I don't, I'm out of work."
Yeah.
So he said, "All right, get a pen and paper." And for 1 hour, John Romita Sr. gave up an hour of his day and walked me through the whole process of how to draw, ink it, color it, make the mechanicals, go to the printer, get the films made, the plates made in an hour. And then he said, "Good luck.
Amazing.
I hope you get the job." And I stayed there for years. And then I moved on to advertising and all that other stuff.
That was a hell of a college right there, that 1 hour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And then the owner said, "Listen to me. You could draw all the pretty pictures you want because I'm going to tell you, art people aren't business people." And he was right in a way. He said, "Because you just know how to make pretty things and use your creative right side brain. I'm in it to make money on the left side. So I need to be an opportunist
Uh,
and take your creativity and turn it into something that's going to make us money." And I was kind of resentful, but I understood what he was saying. He made me go every month to do a trade show. So now I'm learning how to do conventions. So I would show up, I would learn how to work with union guys. He's like, "Here's a couple bucks in cash, pay off the guys on the dock to, deliver your booth early."
right.
Shh. Don't want to wake up in a horse's head in my bed tomorrow. But so I was in Chicago, Las Vegas, San Francisco, Miami, Detroit, every major market. I was doing these office product catalogs, supply conventions, and you'd meet teachers. They'd have the teachers convention. You'd meet
Yep.
banker convention. The most boring people you'll ever meet in your life. Accounting
I lived
conventions.
in Vegas, coffin conventions.
When UNLV was a big deal. I was at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and one of the units we had was a prototype, and it started smoking and caught on fire. And the guy I was with, quietly under the table, just wrapped his leg around the plug and just pulled it out with his foot. I don't know how he did it, and it it was insane because we're doing a live demo and the thing's on fire,
Oh my
and
God. You can
it
just
was
hear somebody
great.
going.
Yeah, people are like, "Is it supposed to smoke like that?" Like, "Oh, that's just the polyurethane melting off the plastic or
Yeah, it's
whatever."
just, oh, yeah, we forgot to pull that off in the wrapping.
Yeah, no, no. But the fun thing was, though, I learned how to sell stuff. He was right because I would go to all these different, and there's different parts of the country that are different from Connecticut.
Regional again. Yeah. I know,
Yeah,
weird, right? It's so
yeah.
weird.
That was the first time I was down south. I heard the war of Northern Aggression. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "What now? What are you talking about?"
You
Oh, just
Yankee. Everybody would call
yeah.
you Yankee.
Oh yeah. As soon as I open my mouth, I go, from up north.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yankee, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked
Yeah.
in Virginia for a while. It was like that. And
Yeah. No, my
yeah.
son lives down that way now, and they know exactly where he's from. We have no accent. What are you talking
I
about?
we had no discernible accent whatsoever. None.
Now and then I slip though. I do the Long Island sound, and people catch me. They go, "Did you just say talk?" I go, "Hmm."
Yeah, have a hot dog and coffee. I don't
Well,
get
because
it.
now I'm close to the New York border, so I kind of get that Long
Ah,
Island
well,
sound.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that by law that most people in Connecticut have to live somewhere near New York
Well, yeah,
or on
Massachusetts
the train
people.
line. You have to be by Amtrak.
Yeah, I'm the Metro North line, and you people in Massachusetts, you dropped the R long ago.
It was,
Cabbage.
we're trying to be closer to our English roots.
I had my manager when I was a kid. I worked at a store, and he said, "Hey, I need you to make a display for the garbage bags." I go, "The what? Garbage?" I go,
Cabbage.
"Garbage? Garbage? Yeah,
You
garbage.
gotta.
Go to the garage."
But then we add where they don't belong. Get the idea?
Oh no, no, the guy I worked for that gave me that big promotion and the stuff. He would write idea.
Yeah.
He'd say it, and he'd write it too, which was weird. He'd give me like a breakdown of what he wanted in the catalog, and he'd go, "Here's my idea with an R." I'm like, "What?" And I remember going in his office and explaining to him how he didn't know how to write, and he was, misspellings. He goes, "What did you get in college? Your grade point average?" I said, "I don't know, 3.6 or something. Who knows?" And he goes, "Well, mine was like a point oh 0.06. I only did enough so I didn't have to go to Vietnam." And I go, "Oh." He goes, "Whose name's on your paycheck every week?" I go, "That would be you." He goes, "So shut up and get out of here." I was like, "You got it, buddy?"
I
He's like,
win.
"Yeah, you win. I got an idea for you. I'm not going to talk anymore."
That's hilarious.
But he was a nice guy. But
I
we
love
were,
it when
and then
people leave the good lessons in your head like that.
the funny thing is, he would sneak out to go to the movies. And I would too. I'd say, "Oh, I got to go to the printer." And I would take off around 11:30, come back around about 2. And one day they called the printers and I wasn't there. And
Uh-oh.
they go, "Was he ever there?" And they go, "No." And then they found out I was at the movies because I'd go to the movie theater
Oh,
because I
Raiders
like
of the
going to
Lost
movies.
Ark,
Oh my God. Yeah. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was like one of my
Silence of the
favorite things.
Lambs, all these things are out.
Star Wars. And the funny thing is, when I quit that job, I had a couple of weeks off in between jobs. I was going to the matinee, and who was there but the owner of the company? He was there too, and that's where he would go. He would tell people he was going to see the bankers, wink, wink, and he was at movies.
Learn from the
But
best. That's why.
yeah, and then he and I would go to movies. He'd call me up like, "Hey, want to go to a movie?" And I'd take off and go to movies with him.
That's cool. Yeah, we had I was teaching college for a while and working in an effects company at the same time. And we would have a Friday moment. Everybody say, "You
Yeah.
doing a Friday?" Yeah, we're gonna have a Friday. What day is it? Tuesday. Okay, we're gonna have a Friday. All right. So we'd all take off at like 3 o'clock on a Tuesday and go drinking and go see a
Well, yeah.
movie or something.
Well, the problem came when they came up with those damn cell phones, and I was working at another job for a big multi-billion-dollar company, catalog company.
Uh,
And I took my assistant. I think we went to go see a Bug's Life, or there was another one that was called
Eric Darnell.
Ant. It was called Ants, maybe.
Ants, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was the
Eric
ripoff
Darnell, yeah.
with Woody Allen. It was like in Stallone. And like it was kind of like Bug's Life, but the Kmart version of it.
I went to school with the guy who directed that. So,
What, Ants?
yeah, Eric
Oh, okay.
Darnell.
Well,
Good guy.
well, he can know that we were in the theater and I must have hit the button for the phone and it went on. And they're back at the office. They were like listening. They go, "We think he's at a movie," because you could hear
Oh, you
the
butt
sound.
dialed them.
Yeah, and yeah, before it
Yeah,
was
because you used to have speed dials on the numbers.
yeah, and I went back to the office and they go, "Where were you for 2 hours?" I go, "Car broke down. A friend came in from out of town. There was a plague, an earthquake. There were
Yeah.
locusts." The whole bit. And they're
So
like,
did the
"No,
good
you were at
guys
the
win?
movie."
Where's their singing?
But no, no. So I've had a charmed life when it came
Oh,
to
that's pretty
jobs.
cool. So and you have kids. You managed to have kids and all that.
I did. Well,
I
but
forgot.
yeah, not myself. I didn't like do spontaneous
That would have been
production.
kind of
That would
cool.
I would be much more famous than, you know, Terrificon if I could pop kids out.
So
But
but you get these catalogs going and you're learning about conventions and you do all this stuff. You know how to
that's what I'm
sell,
saying.
and it all builds up to you.
It all comes together. It's like all that useless experience. What am I ever going to need to know how to put convention booths together? What am I going to need to know how to draw and market and advertise and stuff and make billboards and
What
ads
do you
and
mean I
draw?
need insurance to run an event? What do you
What
mean
do
I
you
need
mean? What do you
security?
mean there's liability? What does that mean? What's
Yeah.
going on? And what do you mean I have to know how to arrange for flights and hotels and car services? Why would I need to know that nonsense?
The panelist needs their own assistant. Why?
Yeah, yeah. There are no green M&Ms. What do you mean? And it
Riders.
all
What's a
comes
rider?
together.
When I
Yeah,
was
perfect.
explaining a rider to somebody for the first time, I think she almost lost her mind because,
Oh yeah,
as a comedian, you work with other comedians, but you also put
yeah,
shows together. So I was
yeah.
doing this one show for somebody. It was a charity event, and the rider for the big star, who I will not name on the air, uh, specifically asked for a kind of liquid to drink, not
Yeah,
alcoholic.
I
We
get
had to
that.
find it. It was not available in the state we were living in, California. So I
Okay.
had to figure out somebody to drive to Buffalo, New York, who could ship it to us so, to get this stupid drink that he could only get in Syracuse, New York. So just ridiculous.
I had one that in his writer, after he was done with his panel in the dressing room or the green room, he wanted 2 pounds of cashews, unsalted. a cheeseburger, and 2 glasses of whole milk. And that was in there. I was like, okay.
What did
So
the cheeseburger have to be from anywhere in particular?
no, no.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got him that stuff. And then when he comes off stage, he was all set and he's walking away. Hey, where are you going? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, I got the stuff you wanted. What stuff? I said, the stuff that was in your contract. It's right over there. The 2 pounds of cashews and the burger and the 2 glasses of milk. Oh, I don't. So what are you talking about? So we only put that in there to make sure you guys really read the contract and stuff.
Exactly what I was told
Well, you got the wrong guy for that
too.
because
Yeah.
I'm cheap and I paid for those 2 pounds of cashews and
Get
the
in there and eat them.
and I go, hey, Chubby, go eat that. He's like, oh no. I go, you gotta go eat that. One way or another, you're leaving with that stuff in your body. Now, either I'm gonna shove it down your throat or you're gonna chew it. Now, which one would you rather do? And he sees my look on my face, and I'm not smiling. I'm like, that crazed Robert De Niro, Goodfellas. I'm gonna kill this guy. So
Good
he
poker
goes
face.
over and he starts eating the cheeseburger, looking at me, and he's not gonna drink the milk. Drink the milk.
It's good for your bones.
It's good for everything. Milk is good. Yeah,
Milk
he
is
did it though. And he's never been back to my show
I
since.
wonder
Though.
why.
I
That's
don't know. I
strange.
don't
That's
know.
kind of weird. Huh? Yeah, we had a theater company guy from New York last week, and he was talking
Yeah.
about the same thing. It was like, yeah, we're kind of mooky. All us East Coast people got a little bit of mookiness, so it's just who we are.
I didn't realize I had it. And my wife laughs when I go, I'm so easygoing and so nice. And she laughs, and my kids laugh. And apparently, the kids know it. They go, oh, he's doing the look. And I didn't know I had one. I knew my mom and dad had a look when you knew you were in trouble.
Uh-huh.
But
When your middle
apparently,
name suddenly comes out of the air.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But the thing of it is, apparently it's like I'll put my tongue in my cheek because I'm trying not to swear, and you do that, and the eyebrow goes up, and it's like,
My dad would just do this and walk away.
no, walk away, walk
Yeah.
away. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like,
But
oh
apparently,
no, I'm in trouble. Dad
that's the
did the thing.
that's the tell though. If you see that, my kids run for the hills. They're like, oh geez, Captain Terrificon's gonna explode. It's gonna be nasty. Yeah.
Where did you meet your wife in all of this?
In college when I was stealing credits for plays that I wasn't supposed to be in. She was also getting extra credit for things, and she wasn't on stage. She was more backstage crew.
Uh,
And I met her there, and I came in. I always remember the day. I said, "This woman's going to marry me and be the mother of my children." I walked in on a Sunday morning with a bottle of Jolt Cola, twice the caffeine and sugar of
ice the
normal
sugar.
soda, with a bag of Funyuns, which were not really onion rings or not potato chips, but somewhere in
Yeah.
between, plastic,
Yeah.
flavored plastic, and a Spectre issue 3 comic book. And I walked in on Sunday because I had just worked the morning shift as the Nautilus instructor at the Jewish Community Center. And so they found out I was Catholic because I wanted Easter Sunday off and I got fired. Whatever. And she was reading her psychology book, doing like real studies. And I'm like, hey, you want some Funyuns? She's like, no. Want some Jolt Cola? She's like, no. Want to read my comic book? No. But there she is.
And there you worked out.
Back in 1987, and
Oh,
she's still here. We've been married for 30 something years. Yeah.
congratulations.
Two
That's
kids.
that's amazing. It's
She has
just
a real job. She's upstairs now working on a real job.
now one of those. Okay, yeah, yeah. I had to
Yeah.
marry one of those guys with a real job too, because
Somebody's got to pay for all these
I
toys.
yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. So as I'm sitting next to my drum kit, going, "Now I got toys."
Yeah.
Um, and he has more toys than I do. I got to say that. So okay, so what was your first convention like? Well, what did you decide to do to decide to, hey, this is convention life. I think I'll take that on as
Oh, I
my
thought you
new
meant
life.
the first one I attended.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I mean the
First,
first one you did. What
oh,
made you decide to do one?
well, see, I told you I was doing conventions for other people,
Yeah.
making billions of dollars for other people. I remember we gave away a convertible Mustang, a 1965 red convertible Mustang at the
So good.
PC Expo, which was in Javits Center in New York City.
I remember PC Expo. I used to go to those.
Yeah, and we had like a 40 by 40 booth, and I had to design the graphics for the booth, and it was the promotional giveaway.
Wow.
And then I would do those other trade shows. But so the opportunity came up where someone said, hey, do you want to help promote a convention? I go, wait, promote? I know how to do that. Conventions? I know how to do that. Comic books, that's the icing on the cake
Yeah.
or the sundae or the cherry on top. So sure, I'll do it. And
The
then when
sprinkles on the Friendlies ice cream. Yeah.
yeah, and then when they said, "Do you want to do it too?" I said, "Sure, I'll do it myself." And I started doing it, and I got no barometer. I have nothing to compare it to except for these big shows I've been doing in Las Vegas and Disney World, and I've done them all, like big convention centers. So it's like
Right.
a 1 day comic book show. How hard is this? I mean, I've organized stuff for, Microsoft and Hewlett Packard and Apple. That
And
this
you had kids.
I could, yeah. I'm like, I could deal with this. So yeah, and then so 3,000 people show up for a 1 day show, then 5,000 people show up for a 1 day show at a facility that's not designed for more than like 1,800 people because it's like one of those hotel banquet halls for
Oh
prom
yeah.
and weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Where they teach
And that's
traffic school on the weekends. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They have like a meeting with the local insurance companies having their wacky Christmas party and who's drunk and doing God knows what. So
Oh, it's on the fan hoyer again.
the fire marshal showed up with the local police department and they said, "Who's running this thing?" And, yeah, that's me. And they go, "Hey, congratulations on a great turnout. Yeah, you could never come back to this town." I'm like, "Oh."
Yikes.
So I had to like, in lieu of fines, I hired some police to direct the traffic because they had reports of people dressed in costumes with capes coming down off the main highway to get to this thing, and then all the parking lots for every store around that were packed with, the Stop and Shops, the
Is it
Kohl's.
Halloween all of a
Yeah, they're like,
sudden?
"What's going on? It's August. Why are the people dressed like Batman?"
Now, is that called Terrificon or is that?
No, that was not called Terrificon then. And Terrificon, I go to the Mohegan Sun. Well, here's another weird story. So I do a show at the hockey arena,
Uh,
and then the guy doubles the rent. I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, 3 days. It was 40. Now it's gonna be 90 something." I'm like, "Oh, I can't afford that." So Mohegan Sun was a casino resort that's nearby. And I had tried to get in there earlier and I wrote and called them and they were like, "Well, we don't really do big public conventions like a comic book show because you don't want people wearing masks walking around, the
True.
casino because
Where all
there's
the money
money."
is. Yeah.
Hey, it's like you don't go to a bank with a mask on,
Yeah.
there's little thing.
And then
So
they
the,
remember the AV, the sex AV convention in Vegas and everything was fine.
no, 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 that didn't come up. So it was very creative the way to work around it. We were like, well, you do have a convention center. Yeah, there are parts of the convention center that obviously people can go to, children under 21. They go, of course there are. There's a mall, there's restaurants, there's a hotel. We have a whole bunch of ways. So it was just a matter of navigating the traffic to
Hmm.
go around the casino resort without coming across the gaming floor. So
Wow.
once that was done and like 19, 20,000 people showed up, they were like, "Oh my goodness, this is great." So then we just started the ball rolling, and that's been 10 years. And then you mentioned gaming earlier.
Yeah.
People like that. And I had empty rooms upstairs where we would do panels, but I'm like, "Hey, I'm paying for this. We got to put something in there."
Yeah.
So I said, "Can we put some video game machines?" Because my boys were teenagers and they liked video games. And then we did some Magic the Gathering because it's how
Oh,
hard
table games. Yeah. Huge.
the lines are going out the door
Oh,
for
I mean,
those
that's one of
rooms.
the biggest games in the world, of course.
I didn't know. I'm like, "What is going on upstairs? And where's my kids?" Because they're supposed to be helping out. And I had to go upstairs and I find them. They're playing Guitar Hero or Magic. And I'm like, "This is a thing? Is
Yeah.
anybody doing one of these things around here?" So no. So there was the GamerCon. And it was just basically like your mom's basement where your
Uh-huh.
friends would come over and they'd sit in the couch that's beat up and they'd play video games and they'd play cards and Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm like, okay, minus the shag carpeting and the panel, we're going to bring that into the casino. So we did that and that took off. So now I do two a year
That's so
and
cool.
it
Have you
keeps me
had people like
busy.
the 20-sided tavern and
Oh God, yeah. We had the dice people. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's
Oh,
a whole thing there. And it's
well, 20-sided tavern is actually a theater show that
oh
they're
no,
doing.
no, I thought you
Oh
meant
no.
like we sell the 20-sided
Oh
die.
yeah, that you guys sell it. My brother, by the way,
Yeah.
is the one who told me about Terrificon originally
Oh, okay.
because
He's still around here?
he's wicked hot chowder comics. He sells
Oh,
comics. So
geez, could you get more Massachusetts things in that name?
I know, isn't he? Well, he's worked at Fenway since he was 17. So
Wicked Chowder. Yeah.
he was the chowder guy at Fenway, and he's the guy that would not feed Ben Affleck because he said chowder wrong.
Why did he put an R in it?
He did.
He's Dorchester though. What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. And then that
Him and that Matt
little buddy there,
Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah.
And Marky Mark, isn't that Dorchester?
Marky Mark, yeah, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Yep.
That's
All those
funny because my nephew lives up there now.
up in
Up
Dorchester. I
Dorchester.
was
Yeah.
born in Dorchester.
Oh, okay. Well, he lives up there with his wife and his little girl. So yeah.
That's pretty back to the flashback to growing up in a neighborhood. That's a very neighborhood town when I was
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
haven't
is.
really
Yeah.
been there in almost 12 years, really, to
It's
visit.
funny though. No, you don't get that anywhere else because when people say where you from, I still say New Haven, even though I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there in over like 30 years. But people always say, where are you from? And you just go, oh,
Yeah,
like what street are you from?
yeah. All right, well,
But yeah.
yeah, exactly. What neighborhood? What we were Dorchester, Mattapan, Roslindale, yeah, Rozzy Rat. But where are you from? Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my wife corrects me on that. She goes, you haven't lived there since like 1992 or something.
It counts. It
And
totally
it
counts.
does count, right? Yeah.
So now you've got this big enterprise that's become this huge
Yeah.
thing where celebrities are coming. You have huge celebrity guests that come. What's that like? The first time you had to
Keanu
deal with that?
Reeves. Yeah, Keanu Reeves was there. Only show he's ever done, only comic book show,
I did not realize that. Yes, good for you.
right?
And he's such a sweetheart.
And you know why? Because as my wife will tell you, my friend who's also from the area, he writes or he draws Keanu Reeves comic books called Berserker.
Which is a genius comic.
Yeah. So and I've known Ron for years, and my wife says, why don't you see if Keanu Reeves will come to the show? He's not going to come to the show. And she says this, and it's true. The answer is always no, unless you ask. So if you don't ask, you don't know.
That is true.
So
That's how I
I
got some of the gifts on this show that people
that's
got.
why I'm here. So jokingly, I asked Ron if Keanu could show up. And he's like, he's not gonna, he's busy. He's a movie star. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. But he was in town because he's got this band called Dog Star.
Which is a fun, he plays bass for.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
said to him, could he do it? And out of nowhere, the show was on Friday. Tuesday afternoon, like right about now, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, I get a text. It says, hey, this is Keanu Reeves. I want to come to your show. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, sure it is.
And I get a call. Nah. I hang up. I'm like, it's probably Ron. I don't know why. So
Messing with you.
Ron calls and goes, hey, Keanu's coming. What are you doing? I said, what is this? April Fools? Why are you doing this to me last week? He goes, no, he's really coming. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So sure enough, it really was Keanu Reeves.
And you made
And
him
he
eat that
showed
damn
up.
cheeseburger.
He probably did. No, the funny thing is, he goes, I could be there from like 11 to 2 because then I got rehearsals for the band that night. So sure. I go, oh, we can't have you. Oh, why? Well, the show doesn't open up till 1:30. And again, my wife is in the next room and she's listening to this. And I'm like, yeah, he wants to come, but what am I going to do? She goes, idiot. You own the show. You could
You could
start
open
it
it
at
up
4 in the morning. What is wrong with you? I go, oh, yeah. So I call him back. Hey, Keanu. Yeah, it's me again. I'm stupid. I forgot that I own the show. Oh, okay. So you could come if you want. All right. And
And
he
how
did
big
go
was
get some.
that line? That must have been
No, and Mohegan was like, "Hey, we can't have 1,000 people camping out here. We got a business." So I was like, "All right, anybody who bought the early entry tickets, he was only there for like an hour and a half or so, so he couldn't see everybody." I
yeah.
said, "I'll count off the first 100 or so people. They get a free autograph and a free photo with them, and that was it. He didn't charge, I didn't charge. So
Oh,
that's the story.
that's cool. That's
But
cool.
they don't listen. I told them no show up till 8 o'clock, and then I got calls from the security. They were out there at 2 in the morning,
Oh,
trying
they're
to.
gonna camp days before.
Yeah, but you can't camp out on the floor at the Mohegan Sun. It's a big
It's a
five-star hotel.
casino. It's not like
Not
San Diego
outside.
Comic Con. Yeah.
No, we're not outside Ticketmaster trying to get tickets for whatever, Springsteen or something. So
That's so,
anyway, yeah. So I've had Ki Kwan,
oh, I love him
Academy Award
too.
winner. He
Yeah.
was he was with me 10
Keep
years
that
ago.
one. Oh,
And then he wins an Academy Award, and I've been friends with him for years. So the 10th anniversary show was this year, and I said, "Oh, geez." And again, my wife, she says, "Did you write Key a letter and see if he'll show up?" Like, it's kind of late. So I wrote him a letter. He goes, "Oh yeah, of course I'll be there." He flies in on a Friday, shows
aw.
up for Saturday, then goes home on a Sunday, go back to Los Angeles.
Oh,
Not
that's so cool.
not a lot of people will do that for you. So
If well, that's the rule. You cannot be an asshole to people because the minute you're an asshole
no,
to people, you are on their shit list and you're done.
there are some people that I'll never watch their TV shows or movies again because of that thing you say. Yeah.
I that Tim Allen and I have that conversation where I am never talking to Tim Allen again for similar
No,
reasons.
there's a couple of people I love their show. I mean, I was watching and go, oh, that guy's so great. And then I got to have him as a guest. And then I bring him in. And then from the second they got there, we were on the wrong foot. And I was like, this is not going to go well, is it? And
We
it
won't
did.
ask. We won't ask while this is recording who that is.
No, I don't care. I don't care. But anyway,
Anybody you never want to talk to again that we should talk about it while we're closing the
hey,
show down.
just because I didn't care for them doesn't
Doesn't mean
mean that
somebody
the
else will.
fans, it's not all about me. Because if it was my show, I wouldn't have some people. But
That's true. This
hey,
that's so cool though. I'm really amazed that somebody could actually own. This is part of the reason why I reached out to you is the idea that somebody could run the show and
by
doing such a
themselves.
great job at it. You get compliments left and right. I don't know if you know it, but I know it from like I have a few celebrity guests who have been on at your
Oh,
event.
really?
Tracy Wiles and Melanie Chadoff and
They were, Melanie Chardoff's from West Haven. She's from my hometown,
yes,
New
she
Haven
just lost
person.
her mom recently out there,
Oh, no. She
but
was
she
just
was out
here.
there. Yeah, she was just there,
And
and
Tracy was just here. Baldur's Gate, she was just here. And I
yep.
kept spelling her name wrong. I kept putting an E in it. She's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I know.
And
How
she's
do you know
such a
you're not
sweetheart.
spelling it wrong, Tracy?
Yeah, that's right. She's a darling. I mean, and they still brag about you. They still, so when I was trying to figure out who else to put on the show, I thought let's reach out to this guy and see what he says. And lucky for you, I mean me.
No, no. I mean, I guess it's interesting. I mean, I gotta say this though. I do miss, and maybe it's not a bad thing. I do miss that fan mentality, kind of, if you want to call it that I used to have. Like I used to, oh my God, I subscribed to Premiere Magazine, Entertainment Weekly. I was at the movies every week. I knew every movie on that marquee. You go to the Showcase Cinema, there's
Mhm.
10 movies. I'd seen them all a couple
Right, you
times.
jump from one cinema to the next at General
Well,
Cinema.
yeah, oh my
Yeah,
God. I remember the best one I did three in a row when I was a kid. I snuck into Mosquito Coast, Little Shop of Horrors,
nice,
and Three Amigos, all in one.
nice.
And I got caught at the end because I was like, the guy's like, you're still here? I'm like, yeah. But I would just go to the movies and go from one to the other.
That's
And
nice.
TV shows, I used to know every celebrity and stuff, but not so much anymore. But
It's hard because everybody's online now, and there's eighty
well,
thousand
not only
shows.
that, but then when you go to meet them, there is a certain element that's, I try not to get jaded or cynical about it because I see other shows and they'll bring in people. And like I said, I bring in people that people want to meet. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean that I'm, a fan of whatever game or show. But there's a money aspect to it too that you kind of like. It's like once you find out how they make sausages and hot dogs, you never eat them again.
yeah,
You kind of go, oh, I like that guy. And then you go, oh, well, he wants this much money to be at the show and he'll only sign this and he won't do that. And there's all these stipulations around it. And it kind of takes a little bit of the fun off of it because it is a business.
yeah,
And it doesn't totally ruin the magic. That's why I kind of like the comic book people better.
yeah.
Not to disparage the actors or
The
anything, but
celebrities and all that stuff.
no, but the writers and the artists because
To me,
that's
they're huge celebrities. The writers and the artists.
they're the
Like Alex
center of the
Ross
show.
was a god to me. Neil Gaiman was a god to me. So
They're the center of the show. When people come in, they go, why is the artist the biggest area of your show? And the comic creators and the actors are off on the outskirts. I
yeah,
said, because that's the center focus of this. And I don't care if there's a zillion other shows that make pop culture the focus. It's my show. I pay the
right.
bills.
Yeah,
This is where I could be selfish and go, screw you. If you want that, go to those shows. You want tattoos and wrestlers, go to those shows. But my show, if you want to see a comic book artist or you want to meet the guy that wrote the X-Men for 40 years, Chris Claremont, you go to
mhm,
my show. Because those are the things that Hollywood finally figured out how to do the right formula and
yeah,
made billion-dollar franchises
yeah.
out of
Took them long enough.
these things that we've been reading for decades here. We knew all
The
about it.
audience has existed this whole time, and
We
gals
knew
and
these were
guys.
great stories. Yeah, we
Yeah.
always knew these were great stories. And all you had to do was get the right special effects and the right actors and the costumes, and everybody would see it. And
Now,
finally those days came about.
one last question because I know
Yeah,
we're
go
taking
ahead.
up
Go
the
ahead.
hour.
No.
Um, you do an artist alley as well, like for
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah,
newcomers.
yeah.
Are there newcomers that you have seen that kind of sparked your interest?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's actually the most fun because I've actually watched artists in my artist alley get jobs with the major companies, the major
Cool.
comic book companies. There was Chris Campagna, who's been with me for years. He's working at Marvel. There
Wow.
was another fellow named John Chang, very talented, worked at Lucasfilm, wanted to meet somebody at Marvel. I introduced him to the editor there. He started doing some coverage for them.
Nice.
Uh, there's this other fella that's hasn't I can't tell he's going to do stuff in 2026, but I know they already met with them, so
That's
there's things in the works with that guy. It'll be
good for
coming out
him.
soon.
NDAs and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, 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 because they came looking for him, and I go, "Oh, is he in trouble?" And I said, "He's right there," and he was like, "Oh, geez, are they bringing lawyers?" And like,
It's
"No, we want
ice.
to talk to you." But no, 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 that's always great to see people that started out and then move on to other things. And there's
That's cool.
another young lady who's married now with a kid, and she's still doing comics, and I can't remember. It was called Hench Girl,
Okay. I'm gonna
and
look
I
that
can't
up.
think of her name off the top of my head. But she's gone on to bigger things. She's even sold her script to like Netflix at one point to do a show, I think it was.
Nice.
So it's fun to see, yeah, the artist alley, the people that are just starting out that might not have had like a reputation, haven't been around for decades and such, but are just, full
Those
of.
are the ones I tend to draw. I kind of hang most at. It's just like
Yeah,
checking
no,
it. I think
there's
I
a
do
lot
this.
of good there's a lot of good. There's a guy I just saw. He was a tattoo artist. He was coming into the comic book shop, and I was looking at some of his sketches, and I said, "You really got to get a table. The artwork is amazing, and he's great at colors too. The colors are so vibrant." So he did buy a table. Sure enough, two not two independent companies, not big companies like Marvel or DC, but they saw him and they commissioned him to do some cover work for them. So he's doing it. I just saw him this weekend.
Nice.
He's already like getting ready for next year's show, and I'm like, that's the stuff that's fun because years
I
from now,
love
when
it.
it's all said and done, and I'm forgotten about, to see that there's people out there that are still making people happy and drawing and stuff. That's always fun.
With that same excitement that you had as a 6-year-old boy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. People say, what's the enjoyment out of it? Because, like I said, getting an autograph from an actor and, hanging on the wall or whatever.
But you can go to car shows and do that. I mean, that's what we used to do at car shows.
I remember that, and they were free.
Yeah, yeah, people
That's
just
another
didn't.
thing
Yeah,
too.
it wasn't
I
like
remember
$10 for assigning a 8 by 10 or
I remember meeting like Larry Linville, Frank Burns from
yes.
MASH. He was sitting on the Buick or something. I was driving through Brantford, Connecticut, and there was a sign saying "Meet Frank Burns." I'm like, "What is that?" And I pull over, and there's Larry Linville, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Frank Burns!" But I remember Leonard Nimoy coming to the local Macy's,
And his
and
family's from Boston too. Newton, yeah.
yeah, he's from Boston. Yeah, Elle
Yeah,
McPherson. She's not from Boston, but
yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't pay. You just went up to him and you got autographs. I remember
yeah.
meeting Stan Lee plenty of times. I got Stanley autographs. You never
Chuck Jones. I got Chuck Jones all over the place. Yeah.
And then it became a business like in the early 2000s. That's when
Yep.
things. I remember meeting Mark Hamill with my kid for
Oh,
$60 and you got an autograph, a photo, signed photo,
wow.
and you got to meet him and it was $60. And at the time we were like, $60.
It's
Oh my God.
crazy.
I remember
Now it's like
Carrie,
400
yeah,
bucks and you get a
Carrie Fisher
cameo.
was Carrie Fisher was like $40. I met her once. I was like, $40 for
I
you?
met her at a Renaissance fair.
Really?
Yeah, she came up and she was feeling me up because I had this costume on. She's
Oh,
like,
she was
"What is
great.
that?
She
What
was
is that?" She
funny
was
as
awesome.
hell.
I loved her.
Yeah.
So you, sir, Mitch, have been an absolute joy to talk to today. I've had flashbacks. I've had
Oh
fun.
God.
We have the Rose City Comic Con here in Portland,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
and we have the Emerald City up in Seattle that's going to be coming up next.
Rose City, coincidentally, is owned by a company that's about 2 miles from me
Oh, that's I did not know that.
in Connecticut.
It's
Yeah, they own Rose City, Awesome Con, and another show.
Oh
So
yes, that's right. And, well, we have Dark Horse Comics down a
that's
few
right.
miles
Dark
away from
Horse.
us
Yeah,
in
yeah. Mike
Milwaukee,
Richardson.
Oregon. Yeah.
He's
So
like
I
seven
mean, what's
feet
great is
tall.
that it's just our life just to be around and
A
swap
lot
stuff.
of the folks I bring in are up from that way because I know when I buy the plane tickets, it's a pain in the ass to get them out here
Yeah.
because it's a
PDX is
lot. There's
yeah.
no
Sorry
direct
about that.
flights to Hartford, Connecticut. So
Yeah, you go to TF Green and you take the train down, and yeah, I've done
yeah,
this.
go to Bradley, and then you got to do this.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, pain in the butt, but you,
Whatever.
sir,
Well,
have been an absolute joy. And if you have any parting words for the comic fans out there who are going to go to
oh,
cons,
the comic book fans? Oh,
yeah, who are
well,
going to
keep
cons and what? what they should do.
Keep reading comic books. Spend within your budget. Don't go crazy, all that stuff, because you'll end up with all these things like me, and you go, "What did I do
I'm
with
like
all
looking at
that?"
I have my Bruce Lee pile over there with Kato.
Oh yeah, no,
That
I've
big
got.
Kato pile.
It doesn't. It didn't start out as a pile.
Oh,
That's what's scary. This room used to be. I have photos of this room 20 years ago when we moved here. There's nothing here. There was just empty walls and stuff, and then
wow.
it's like a couple little figures here and a couple of. Because you know what the thing is, they didn't have all this cool stuff when we were little.
No. There was no
None
such
of
thing as
this.
Funko. McFarlane didn't exist.
They didn't even have Superman or Batman T-shirts. That was like something you never saw. And if you did, you got beat up wearing that.
That's right. Nerd.
No. I just say keep being imaginative, keep reading books, and keep it all going. Because I hear everyone going on the anti-superhero movie bandwagon, and they all hate it. And like, don't do that because when it's gone, you're gonna be sad. Trust me, we grew up with none of this stuff. There was no, yeah, the Hulk on TV and Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. There was
Yep.
no movies. There was no
Electro
cartoons.
Woman and Dyna Girl. And that was
If
pretty much it.
that and Wild Boy and Bigfoot
Yeah.
and
Sigmund and the Sea
it's
Monsters didn't count. Yeah. Crop
it
too.
sucked. Let me tell you, it sucked. The 70s for superheroes sucked. The effects were bad. Now they're good. So
Yeah.
shut up.
Enjoy
Don't
them.
ruin it. Don't ruin it. It's like getting a 10-course meal every night and you suddenly say, "Oh, I don't like the potatoes. They're
Steak
cold."
again.
And then they're gone and you're eating chicken out of a bucket. You know what I mean? You don't know when you had a good thing.
It's
Same thing
true.
with Terrificon. I ain't gonna be here forever. Sad to say. My
Uh,
kids don't want to take it over. When I'm gone, see ya. It's
uh,
been nice knowing you.
well, we're grateful you do what you do. And
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for that. Folks, this has been the Anti-Social Hour-ish show. This week's guest has been Mitch Hallock. And guys, next week we are going to have an animator and a children's book writer, Holly Scroggins, who I think you'll adore because she's the one who does our intro animation to this very show. And we will talk to you next week. And if you stand on line, I'm going to halt the recording.